As you can see, I'm on the road. Concentrate on the audio, do not concentrate on the video. The road is pretty bumpy out here in the county, and it's, as you can see, my camera's flopping up and down, so I apologize for that in advance. Hey guys, if you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. Please share this video with others and comment. Commenting really helps. It helps the algorithm when you do that. What's up, Randy? Anyhow, like I said, I'm headed off somewhere pretty interesting. Guys, if you haven't yet already, consider registering for our classes. We have active shooter response. It's a 2-day California post-certified class. Matter of fact, we have one scheduled today. And then it's a 2-day class, so it'll end on Friday. And then the next class is in about, I think it's about 2 weeks from now. Get a hold of me. Check out my email address in the description box below so that you can get registered for that class. Oftentimes these classes do fill, so we can always waitlist you. If you're waitlisted, don't worry. We'll try to get a second or a third instructor in so that you can attend. We prefer that you attend in groups or teams. So if you are a law enforcement agency or a private security company and you have maybe 5 or 6 guys in that patrol team, I think this is a good team building. It's a good team building venue. You break bread with your fellow officers, and I think that's just the best way sometimes, is breaking bread, going somewhere that's nowhere near the job site, going off and just enjoying the day with each other. Anyhow, make sure you sign up, and if you know some other people or other people that you think are interested in attending these classes and they maybe live near you, consider carpooling where we're at, maybe even, and we're in Eastern San Diego County. Also consider maybe lodging up with somebody, get an Airbnb house. One of the guys got an Airbnb house for everybody, and it was like $400 or $450, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. That's not bad, guys. Also consider attending our sniper instructor class. We have a 4-day class. We are at like 70% capacity. I'm pretty sure this class is going to fill up because it's the only sniper instructor class in the entire state of California, and that will be in Imperial County. Those of you who are in law enforcement, you work for a post-reimbursable agency, it's post-plan level 4, which is pretty good. That covers lodging, meals, and miles, which is, once again, it's very good. Anyhow, I want to talk about the Ryder Cup incident that happened in, I don't even know where all the Ryder Cup's at. I think it's New York. Yeah, New York. New York or New Jersey, but most likely New York. Basically, what you have is, Trump is attending the Ryder Cup service or event with his granddaughter, and you have the Trump Secret Service detail assigned there. And then what you had is you had an NYPD detective who snuck in there, right? And he was in full tactical gear, which I don't even know what that means. Full tactical gear means so much to different people. Does that mean that you have a bullet-resistant vest? You have soft body armor? You have hard body armor with a bunch of molly pouches? I don't know what that means, right? It means so many different things. Anyhow, he was placed on administrative leave pending an administrative investigation for theft. And I'll talk about that. And we'll talk about how this possibly happened, right? Now, guys, I did a 1 hour and 20-minute interview with Fred Pyrie from Active Crisis Consulting, LLC, based out of Texas. And he broke down the Charlie KIRK assassination in pretty much good detail. And he talked about what a standardized security detail would look like, and how would it look like on the private sector side. Guys, if you're interested in starting an EP company, doesn't matter if you're California or anywhere, or you are assigned as a supervisor or the lead agent for one of these details, and it doesn't matter security, law enforcement, I really think it's really important to watch that video. It is lengthy, but it's worth it, especially if you have a long commute. And then also, let's just say you got a 30-minute commute, just break it down in a 3-day format. One day watch 30 minutes, the other day watch 30 minutes, the other day watch the last 15. It is so much worth it. It is the most underrated video in the YouTube universe, and you can get it, you can watch it for free. Just check out my description box below, click on the link, and you can watch the Fred Pyrie interview. Fred Pyrie, in my honest opinion, out of every single person that's been on Fox News and all the other news outlets, he is the most qualified person to speak on that topic, the Charlie Kirk assassination and any other protective detail. Fred has been instrumental in training some of the top tier military units out there. Those who know, right? Those who are in a smaller network of people know that Fred Pyrie is the man on fire. So definitely watch that video. I think it's going to be worth your time. Anyhow, how did this happen, and what's the legalities involved? What does it look like? So I had the privilege of being part of a Trump security detail while working for a law enforcement agency. Now, guys, I'm not here to steal any valor out there, steal any recognition. I was the guy who was the perimeter of the perimeter of the perimeter. I wasn't even, the closest I got to Trump was probably maybe one highway lane away, which is maybe about 15 feet, and he's driving by like 40 miles an hour, right? That's the closest I got to him, and my back was turned to him. Now, I was working uniform patrol for a law enforcement agency at that time, and I will tell you that even law enforcement officers cannot get that close to Trump. Now, obviously, I got that close to him because I was part of the perimeter of the perimeter of the perimeter, which is really, it's not like anybody can be part of the perimeter of the perimeter of the perimeter. Matter of fact, the onlookers, the spectators, were as close to me than I was to Trump. So I was never on the interior perimeter, so to speak, but I got to see what happens, right? And I'll tell you that even law enforcement guys cannot get that close to Trump. Your SWAT teams, I think there was one SWAT team, which was at the time, it was a local agency that we trained with on almost a monthly basis. And obviously they have to be screened, and they got a pretty significant part of that detail. They basically got to do what the SWAT team got to do in Butler County during the Trump assassination attempt. So very similar. They got to be part of the more inner circle, right? A lot more inner circle than I was. Everybody's screened. If you take a picture with Trump, you know, if you're a law enforcement officer or even military, you probably will not have access to any weapon. If you get near him, your weapons, well, they're going to be secured somewhere, possibly the trunk, right? But this is very common. Now, when an NYPD officer walks in there, this is a pretty alarming situation. That person hasn't been screened, and that officer should be screened, right? And you know how there's like a brotherhood of law enforcement, we all trust each other. It doesn't work that way, guys. With diplomatic security services, it doesn't work that way with Secret Service, according to my contacts. Everybody has to be vetted. So what happened is this detective was on sick leave for some unknown reason, and he ended up sneaking into this detail. So it looked like he bypassed like TSA regulate or TSA standardized checkpoints, which now we know could be a bad thing, right? But we know he snuck in, and what alerted the detail, the legit detail, was one of his magazines fell out. Magazine fell out. I'm probably sure that some of the Secret Service agents or those assigned to detail saw that this guy was just out of place. And we could recognize those police officers that try really too hard, that have too much kit, that don't know what they're doing with their kit. Those who, again, they just have too much. And you're talking about maybe like a police officer rolling up to one of these details with like a flashbang or something like that, or multiple flashbangs, maybe some chem agents, maybe a gas mask, all these other items that usually aren't present in these details would definitely alert those Secret Service agents and those agents on those detail that are well trained. And it's a crazy thing, guys. If you've been training with law enforcement, you've been training with military, you know the ones that are there for nefarious reasons. Those are there just to be part of the show. And you might be asking me, what's the reason why somebody would want to do something like this for? I honestly think that some detectives, some police officers do this for the fame, so that they can say, "Oh, I was part of Trump's team," and then they get pictures taken with them, and then when they retire, or not even when they retire, when they want to show off on social media, they'll show pictures of the Trump detail and then them in the background or standing next to Trump. And there is a monetary advantage to it, especially if you're doing EP work. You post one of these pictures up there, I was part of the Trump detail, and it helps. It helps. But honestly, the guys that are in our inner circle, you probably never seen them with these executives in photographs. And if you did, you probably weren't paying attention to who they were. But they try not to be part of the photographs. And those are the ones that are the true EP agents, the ones who are truly trained, I think. Right? Now, what is this theft all about? So when you're on workers' comp leave, okay, and you're doing other things that you're not supposed to, especially for an economic advantage, the district attorney of that state might consider theft charges. In California, if you are injured on the job, you get what's called 4850 pay. That's 4850 of the California Labor Code. And basically, you're getting your full pay, 100% paid for 12 months. And it's over the course of 5 years as well. So let's just say you use it for 2 months, but you're injured a total of 5 years. You can use that 1 year period throughout the 5 years, and you get basically your full pay. Now, with this detective, when you are out there doing these things you're not supposed to, that is potentially fraud. I mean, if you're claiming that you can't walk, you're claiming you can't stand for more than 10 minutes, but you're over there with your tactical vest and you're playing EP agent or you're playing Secret Service agent, that is considered in many jurisdictions theft. You're supposed to be at home, or you're supposed to be at rehab recovering, right? Recovering from these injuries that you claim. Now, let's just say his injury is PTSD or something like that. Okay, well, look, if you can't do the job of an NYPD detective, I mean, are you going to have trouble doing something very similar on a Trump detail? I mean, you're out there, your hypervigilance or your vigilance, your situational awareness, whatever you want to call it, is at 110%. You think that might not create a stressful situation in your recovery? You think that it may or may not hamper your recovery efforts from workers' comp? And I think that's where they're getting, I I think that's where they're getting these administrative theft charges from, is from that theory, that line of thought. Hey guys, so it looks like quite a bit of you guys are watching. Check out the description tab below, so you can watch the Fred Pyrie exclusive video where I talk to him about what appropriate security detail looks like if you're interested in a career in Secret Service, dignitary protection, or diplomatic security services. Make sure you guys watch that video. I interview a retired DSS supervisory agent. It's an awesome video. And if you're interested in active shooter response for your teams, today, actually it started about an hour ago already in Santee, California. And then tomorrow is day 2, but it's too late to sign up. In 2 weeks, we have another active shooter response class that's post-certified in Santee, California. It is, it's an awesome class. It's 16 hours, it's 2 days. Make sure you guys sign up. If you're in security, you need at least a guard card and a firearms permit. But check out the description tab below for my email. Send me email. Tell me you're interested, who you are, what you do, and then watch the Fred Pyrie video. So back on this. How is it possible that somebody bypasses these security checkpoints, right? Well, obviously, when you're in law enforcement or Secret Service, and there's another like fellow brother, about to cross over through the checkpoints, it's very easy. It's very easy to do because you're thinking, oh, this guy's just another one of us. He's, this guy is blue. He's one of us. Let's let him through. And that's probably what happened. I don't know if you guys ever paid attention in lobbies of hotel rooms. Do this. You'll notice that there's two categories of people. There's ones that just walk through the counter or walk past the counter. And then those that hesitate a little bit. They'll take like 1 or 2 steps or 3 steps or 10 steps, and they'll hesitate a little bit. And basically, the hotel clerk will raise their gaze a little bit more up, and they'll make eye contact with you and then smile at you or ask you if you need anything. But if you just walk through them, you walk past them, they believe that they have a room. They believe that you have a room. So human behavior is everything. There's a program that's put on by the U.S. Marine Corps, and it's called the Combat Hunter Program. It's been civilianized, if that's even a word. And in private sector and in law enforcement, we use this. We understand, or we try our best to understand what baseline behavior is, what anomaly is. And we train each other to react to these anomalies. In this type of environment, at the Ryder Cup, Secret Service agents and protective agents, law enforcement agents, officers are trained on what baseline behavior looks like. And they're also trained to recognize the appropriate uniform. And once again, for any one of us that especially trains in these active shooter classes, we know what the proper kit would look like. And even sniper classes, guys, we train for the anomalies. Again, I'm not here to advertise any courses, but we do have a sniper instructor course. It's a 5-day class, and it's post-certified. And it's done with somebody who has operational experience. Citywide Protection Services, CWPS, out of Santee, California, they've hired one of the best sniper instructors out there who trains with the best. And he basically, and I attended one of the classes, he basically talks about that like 98%, 99% of a sniper's work is information gathering. And through the scope of a scope or binocular, you're gathering as much information as you can, and you're relaying that to command. And that's what we're going to do in 2 weeks. So if you're interested in that, send me email. I think we're like 70, 80% filled in the class. We got some more room. We got so much training going on. It's amazing, guys. Now, even snipers are trained to look at what's normal, what's the proper uniform. How does, what does proper look like? But it doesn't, what doesn't look like proper is when you show up with knee pads. Okay, you show up with an exterior vest with flashbangs on there. Even a helmet, guys. A helmet, you show up with night vision. That's just, it's cringy, it's weird, and it's out of the ordinary. You ordinarily do not see that. What you might not even see is some guy walking around with a ballistic vest. Now, ballistic shield. Now, what might be normal if you have a tactical team, like a local or state SWAT team, they all have night vision on already. They all have their ballistic helmets, and they're all in kit. And they all have maybe patches. And maybe some have chem agents on them. Some have a gas mask. But you see some normalcy there, right? That's normal, right? I would also assume that this detective, when he walked past this security checkpoint, he probably badged them, or they just saw him, or he just walked through the checkpoint with confidence. But I think once there was a step of hesitation, that would cause alert for the security team. Let's go through the comments real quick. Make sure I don't leave anybody out. Randy Nunez is here. He's actually one of our lead instructors. He said he added the link to the flyers and tickets. Awesome. Matthew's here. And MG says that's what the Marine Corps actually called their sniper platoons, STA platoons. Awesome. All right, guys. So that's all I got for this hour. If you have any questions, concerns, let me know. If you have any tips on how to spot an NYPD detective or a law enforcement officer that's not part of the detail, we'd like to hear from you in the comment section box below. All right, guys. I got some work to do today. See you guys all later. See you at the range. See you in training. See you in the comments. Take care.